There's been a lot of discussion in the United States about banning Chinese social media apps from phones. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was actually pressed on that by Laura Ingraham yesterday. Let's take a listen.
Shouldn't we be considering right now, tonight, a ban on Chinese social media apps, especially TikTok?
We're certainly looking at it. We've worked on this very issue for a long time.
Would you recommend that people download that app on their phones?
Only if you want your private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
Not looking good for TikTok there, Krystal, which, look, I do not use, but kids all around the country use. Basically, anyone 20 and younger is all over TikTok. But this has been a big conversation because what really kicked this off is that India, the Indian government, as a response to many of the border clashes, just cut off the entire, banned TikTok in the entire country. That was like 100 million users or something like that, were overnight just cut off from being able to use the app. And that really gave some more energy to the ban TikTok movement kind of here in the United States. And look, it's clear. TikTok is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. That's their parent company. ByteDance has a CEO who has been forced to apologize for not embracing Xi Jinping thought closely enough. This is very clear. And there's no such thing as private company in China. Right. All Chinese enterprise is controlled at the behest of the state. They may operate privately whenever they want to, but whenever something comes about, they will be controlled. And TikTok has been going to immense lengths in order to avoid being banned. They just hired one of the people who actually launched Disney Plus. He's a longtime Disney American executive. He will report, of course, to the CEO of ByteDance. So, look, they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a lobbying campaign here in the United States trying to remain. And look, I will be fair. A lot of American teenagers love TikTok. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we can allow all of them to just be on this app, which is stealing their data. And God knows what privacy problems. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I like some of the TikTok dances. Yeah. I learned them with my 12-year-old, my 50-year-old. It's fun. Right. But yeah, it's if you are worried about data privacy, like this is the end-all, be-all of terrifying data invasion. Because as you said, look, the idea that this is like a distinct company from the Chinese government, that's not a thing. No. The moment that they want access to that data, they will have access to that data.
They probably already do.
In fact,
all their servers are there.
Right. Yeah. In fact, there was a case in China in which an app, not TikTok, a different one, wanted to try to protect their data, and the Chinese government was like, no, we want it, and that was the end of the story. That's the way that it works. Right. So my question for you is, Pompeo didn't bring that up on his own. He was pressed on. He was like, yeah, we're looking at it. Do you think that they're actually serious about it?
I don't know. I've been pushing for it for a long time, but I think that there is the Indians just banning it outright showed that it can be done, and the Chinese couldn't do anything about it. That was something I think was a real landmark moment. And I think if anything gives a little bit more credence, because we have to remember also the administration is trying to look for symbolic stuff in order to punish China for the coronavirus and some of the mishandling of that in the initial days in January. This would be a very shot across the bow. It would be like, no, you are not allowed. This is the other thing. The story of TikTok really is that the Chinese banned Instagram, they banned Facebook, they banned all of our social media apps, then they artificially create their own and then fund them to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars and give them a pure edge over our products. And because we're fools, we allow them on our app store. Don't tell me why. Go try on Facebook. Whenever you're in China, good luck. Same with Instagram. It's WhatsApp. You can't use any of this stuff.
And at the same time, I don't think we can't understate how much of a big deal it would be to ban it, because it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around because it's not a platform that I actually use. But for Zoomers in particular, this is lives, central. They're while they're out of school right now, spending hours and hours on there. There are memes on there and things that I have no awareness of that my 12-year-old is bringing me to. Shutting down the Trump rally and whatever. This is incredibly as central to them as Twitter is for me, in my life as a journalist and doing this thing. So can't understate what a big deal this would be. And then I think the left feels uncomfortable with some of the politics. Yeah. Because, the Trump administration, look, they obviously want to deflect blame from their own mishandling of coronavirus. They want to pin it all on China. I'm not shy about talking about the Chinese faults here, but obviously there was a lot that was mishandled here as well, and you can't pin it all on them. Of course. course we've been, of course, absolutely. And then there's also like him wanting to call it Kung Flu and like throw out these like xenophobic and racially tinged and outright racist pieces of it, as well as like a culture war issue. So that makes the politics of it somewhat complicated for the left. But I don't think that there should be any complications around the idea that you really don't want the Chinese government to have full access to the data of like our kids, like our teenagers, our young adults, or anyone for that matter. And so for that reason, I think it makes a lot of sense to look in this direction.
Yeah, it's just like, I know that's the thing. Nobody wants to hear it, but and you're right, which is, look, the Trump administration, and many times they talk tough on China, and the outside of the tariffs haven't done a lot about it. So that's something that I've been highly critical of. There's a fact that Buy American protective order is still sitting somewhere around the Oval Office, hasn't been signed. Completely insane to me. But I think banning TikTok is one of the things, because it's another signal to the Chinese, who are right now engaged. Look, they're trying to buy up Hollywood. They have 10-cent pictures and all these other things. They tried to destroy the NBA. They're trying to control American sports. They're trying to buy up American American cinema houses in order to control what can be seen and what's not there. We're a sovereign nation. You can't allow that. And same with our kids. I mean, the kids are our most valuable, the most valuable thing about us. So we need to be able to make sure that they're protected and that the rest of us are protected as well.
Well, it's certainly an important story, and we will continue to follow it here. Tomorrow on Rising, author Eddie Glad explains how the lessons of James Baldwin can apply to today's conversation on race in America.
It's going to be interesting. All right, remember to subscribe. It's the best way to make sure you never miss a video. Also, like and share as well. And send us any questions that you have for #RisingQs.
Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
See you guys.